Hello and thanks for staying on LN 24/7. This is Politics Now. My name is Morno Balagbobo. We've got quite a packed show for you today. Today we'll be focusing on the People's Democratic Party, opposition politics, and what it means for 2027. But our focus tonight will be on the internal wrangling. Let's give you a rundown of our talking points. We'll look at alleged plot to keep Damagun in office and erring members, more to do about disciplinary committee, and talk about 2027 permutations, x-raying the outcome of the elections in Ondo and Edo. And our guest is in the studio with us, Senator Enantomhen Andrew. He's a PDP Chieftain. Good to have you on the program, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure is ours. Also, we'll be talking about Edo politics, probe of Obaseki's government, and Chris Ojekere, spokesman, Igadolo Campaign Council, will be joining us via video call from Edo State. We'll take a breather. When we come back, we'll break it down and begin our conversation regarding the PDP. To stay with us. All right, so let's break it down. We're talking about the PDP internal wrangling. A lot has been going on in the party of the People's Democratic Party. And I mean, you look at from when the elections, 2023 elections, was conducted up till now, many will argue that they are yet to get things in motion in terms of building a formidable force and posing a proper opposition to the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And recently, a coalition of federal opposition lawmakers have accused some People's Democratic Party governors and 24 state party chairmen of plotting to keep the party's acting national chairman, Umar Damagun, in office until 2027 to weaken the party. The lawmakers made the claim during a press conference in Akokwa, Imo State on Sunday evening. A spokesman for the group, Ikenga Ugochinyere, said, "We have the PDP that's supposed to lead the opposition, but what we have are political charlatans hijacking the heartbeat of the opposition party and turning it into an errand platform for the ruling party." He added that they want Umar Damagun to continue to parade himself as national chairman and stay in office till 2027 so that they can foist on the PDP a weakling that will be presidential candidate. Now, of course, this is just coming after governors elected on the platform of the main opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, rose from their meeting with a strong advice for the Umar Damagun-led National Working Committee to call for the National Executive NEC meeting of the party latest by February. And since August, the NWC has continued to postpone the NEC, expected to discuss some issues bedeviling the party and present a substantive national chairman of the party who will take over from Damagun and complete the tenure of suspended Iyorchia Ayu. And in April, the NEC was set for August 15, but it was postponed to October 2024 and then later rescheduled to November 28 before it was indefinitely postponed. Now, our guest in the studio was in that governors meeting in Jos. Good to have you once again, Senator Andrew. So let's hear from the horse's mouth. So let's begin to unpack all that happened in that meeting. I know it's beyond what we saw from, I think, Governor Bagu, who gave that communicate, yeah, Bala Mohammed, thank you for the correction. Now, there was a lot to unpack. I mean, you talk about the state of the nation, the economy, which is biting hard. But of course, we want to focus on the politics side of things. Let's leave the humanitarian angle after the proper conversation. There was a talk of unity. How united is your party? I mean, coming through 2023 elections, and you're yet to still have your standing, so to speak. I stand to be corrected.
Thank you so much. There's this public perception that, people dwell on media hype, media perception, media propaganda, and all of them. So, but we're not worried in PDP because we understand what PDP stands for. PDP cannot be divided. PDP is a big family. It's one of the biggest. It's by one time it was the biggest political party in the whole of Sub-Saharan Africa. And every other political party you see today pass through PDP. There's no big political chieftain in this country today that doesn't have his roots in PDP. It's not possible. There's none of them. So the crisis, the storm that have bewitched PDP, if it happens to any other political party by now, they will have gone. You will have even know whether the ones existed. Look how there are so many political parties like that. Just little storm, they are gone. So PDP in itself is the normal thing. You have just little misunderstanding. That's the beauty of democracy, and that's what makes us brotherhood. That's what makes our brotherhood stronger. But if you look at the way we are being run, the way we are being managed, we have various organs of the party, of course. We have a ministers forum, we have a governors forum, we have a state chairman forum, we have different forum. That is the beauty of democracy. That is the beauty of governance. So if you look at the governor, they look at the last meeting we had in Jos, practically all the governors were there. The ones that were not there, their deputies were there. We had a representative from the ministers forum, we had a representative from beauty, from the National Assembly caucus. It was all encompassing. It was a beautiful atmosphere. The ambience was glorious. We could see the beauty of PDP. Of course,
No, from what we saw in that clip, I mean, they are all looking beautiful.
Absolutely.
But we're talking about the party now and not the personality.
Absolutely, they are looking happy.
Because many Nigerians will argue that you are not posing a proper opposition to the government of the day.
You know that the government of the day was built on propaganda. The government of the day was built on lie, deceit, and any other thing. So most times, with proper solution to them, PDP is known for issue-based policies party. Look at what happened. We did it in Edo State now. We ran one of the best campaigns in the history of this country when it comes to issue based, which is not because we're not, but that is what everybody keep on saying. Which I mean, you guys have you could see what happened in Edo State. We ran one of the best.
So if your party ran on issue based, the issues in your party, why is it not resolved up till now? Because I hope you know that the governors are different from other stakeholders in the party.
That's why they are all different. But the governor had a major role because they are the one that actually held the party at the corridor of power at their various levels. So we are not divided. The party is united. The party is strong. The party is formidable. The party is firm. PDP.
So who is the national chairman of your party now as of today?
We have an acting national chairman, who is the person of Umar Damaku.
So why are a lot of people at loggerheads with his leadership?
Nobody's at loggerhead with his leadership. Most people are few people are just saying they want a substantive chairman that will replace Iyochayu. But since there is no yet substantive chairman, of course, Damagu being the second highest in command at the party hierarchy after Iyochayu, has to take over for now and act in his capacity. And in running the affairs of the party, Damagu is piloting the affairs of the party the way it should be. As it stands right now, the party administration is running effectively well under Damagu's leadership. And this is the way everybody has to accept.
But practically everybody that I have interviewed on this platform has told me otherwise. They seem to have, in short, some people will tell you that the problem of the PDP as it is now is Damagu.
Will Damagu impose or go and impose the national chairman of PDP? It will not. By the time the next meeting is called, the party in its wisdom, in leadership, will try to sit down and know what to do and let's have a way forward. That's the more reason why the party is okay. Since we're supposed to hold the next meeting on the 28th of this month, but unfortunately, Akwa Ibom State Governor's wife, death of the wife, affected the next meeting. So the party in its wisdom decided to shift it to February. So if the leadership of the party does not have the interest of the party at heart, they will not be doing all these things. Of course, every aspect of the party is moving effectively well. As the party may close down, the question is no. Has campaign not been going on at various off-cycle elections? The question is yes. Have the NWC not been well representative in various meetings to ensure they chant a way forward for the needs and the interests of the Nigerians of the party? The answer is yes. So most times, it baffles us when we hear people say, Damagu this, Damagu that. As far as we are concerned.
So, in your words, Ikenga is lying because we just showed the clip of the meeting that he had with some rep members who are also members of your party, alleging the fact that there is a plot to keep Damagu in power till 2027.
There's no plot to keep Damagu in power till 2027. Damagu is the acting chairman of the People's Democratic Party as of today. and is playing that role effectively well to pilot the affairs of the party. The party cannot be left the position of the acting chairman cannot be left vacant. There is a position to be filled in, and the party in its wisdom decided to place Damagu, which is the second hierarchy in command,
So
to fill in that position to act.
what is the rationale behind this noise, so to speak? Because it seems to me that this is just noise
It's
making.
just politics. It's just
Okay,
politics.
what is behind it?
It's point of interest and rhetorics.
What's the interest for someone like Ikenga? Let's start from there.
Where the Inca can have his own personal interest. You know, politics is about interest, if I may say. Politics is just about interest. Okay, you're saying Damagu. If Damagu leave, who will fill in that position? That is the question you have to ask. He is an acting national chairman and he's running the affairs of the party, pending on when the neck is called and the secretary chairman is being appointed or elected, if need be. But before that, depending on that time, the man they should just allow the man to act. That's what because just like what you said, that's what baffles me. Okay, what is the noise all about? That's the question. Has the party been closed down? No. Has things not been going on? Yes. Has the party not been supported? Look at what Edo election, the NWC were so supportive of the Edo election because they wanted, they commit their resources, commit their time to ensure that the PDP wins the Edo election. If the NWC did not have the interest of the party at heart, would they be fighting to ensure we win more states? Whether you like it or not, there is no leader, there is no national chairman that will not want to gain more feathers to his title. It will be the job that we're going to see that PDP win more states. And that's what he's doing. Look at most of his statements. Till today, Damagu is still saying that, look, we are going to fight to make sure we reclaim Edo. Look at the person, look at what we said in Just. That look, Ondo, we're even studying Ondo, we're not going to let go of it. But as far as we are concerned, Edo is one, clean, clear, and neat. And it must be reclaimed. So if these guys don't have the interest of the party attack, would they be fighting for all these various states to add to them? See, it is the joy of the end of the history.
So let's look at the outcome of the elections so far, the by-elections in Ondo and Edo.
Yeah.
Let's start with Edo State. Edo State, I mean, belonged to your party.
Absolutely.
What did you think happened, despite the so-called support that you said these governors, inputted their time and their resources to ensure that, I mean, you still clinch back that state, but you lost the state. What do you think went wrong?
No, we did not lose the state. They forcefully collected the states from us. We did not lose the state. They stole the mandates from us. We did not lose the state. They maligned people, they maltreated people, they oppressed people, they intimidate people, and stole the people's will by force, which posterity is already fighting them now. The state have gone back to an archaic style of governance, and everybody's regret. Everybody that played that role to ensure that this state is given to people who never deserve it. They are all regretting all the decisions they've taken. Just within 2 weeks of it, they are all regretting because you cannot use a 17th century weapon to fight a 21st century war. It's not possible. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Governance is not rocket science. It's not what you sit down in your house and just imagine. Governance is a serious business. And if you must be involved in governance, you must know that it's about life and death. The destinies of millions of Edo like in Nigeria, they rested in your shoulder. It's not something you play joker card with. If you're not ready for the business, you stay in your house. It's a serious matter we're talking about here. But these guys came to manipulate everybody, turned election upside down, forcefully collected it, used presidential might, used the state apparatus, used the federal apparatus, everything.
Despite the power of incumbency of Obaseki, you still
Have you
insist.
forgotten that the person at the head of the presidency is more...
Did you think Obaseki hurt himself by, having a fallout with former Deputy Governor
Philip Shaibu is
Shuaibu?
not relevant in the equation of Edo politics. If Philip is relevant, Philip Shaibu have never won his LG. Are you aware of that? He has never even won his word. Oshomole have always won his word.
So he's conniving with the APC. Did not
Yes,
in any way.
If you give Philip Shaibu a chance, let Philip Shaibu go and contest. I'm saying it on live camera now. Philip Shaibu have never won his word. Oshomole have always won him.
Okay.
APC have always won Philip Shaibu in his word.
We'll come back to the issue of the elections, but there are indications that the National Disciplinary Committee set up by your party may not sanction erring members before the next convention of the party. And this was as the PDP Governors Forum gave a February 2025 deadline to the party to convene a national executive meeting. And the disciplinary committee, as advised by some leaders of the PDP, had resolved to tour the path of reconciliation and allow the next convention to ease out members perceived to have disobeyed extant rules of the party. And the party leader insisted that the disciplinary committee prioritize the unity and progress of the party above call to suspend or expel some erring members. Now, this is not going to go well for some people who are card-carrying members of your party, because there are people, let's start with the minister of the FCT, who many perceive to be one of the erring members because of anti-party activities. I know he's had several, interactions with the media to explain why, he had to tour the path of supporting President Bola Tinubu for the 2023 elections. But do you think it's high time to call it quits? No discipline for those who erred, no committee, any effort to ensure that there is order and decorum and party ethics are adhered to. Do you think this is the path to toe?
As I talk to you, the Minister of FCT, which is President of Wike, have been a shining light even in PDP to Nigerians. When he was a governor, he became the best governor in the history of Nigeria. He is the one that brought out the glory of beautiful democracy in governance. Wike did development to a level that people were using Rivers State as an example to other states. Now, Wike brought that same style to Abuja. Look at what is happening in Abuja today. Development everywhere, infrastructure everywhere, innovation, creativity, empowerment everywhere. Now, people have to understand that when it comes to issue of good governance, you must be patriotic to your country. Wike is just being patriotic to Nigeria. Wike is one person. If you want to decamp to APC, he will decamp now, but he will never decamp to APC because APC cannot even. Wike is. If I want to use the word, Wike is even bigger than APC as a personality.
Are you sure about that?
Wike came into APC and outshined everybody in APC. That shows the capacity and the quality Wike has. But
so because he was, appointed as FCT minister, that means he outshines every other person. Don't you think that the president, of course, who is the grand schemer of all things APC 2027 permutations, is banking on that to secure FCT for the 2027 elections?
PDP will mostly win FCT 2027. Take me for that. PDP will win FCT. PDP have always won FCT. The next senator will return as PDP will return as senator in FCT. Be rest assured of that.
But the Labour Party took FCT. The capacity
of Wike is what brought Wike to where he is today. I don't communicate with him, but I'm just telling him, I'm just laying the fact that I'm a
now, this capacity that you say has brought Wike thus far, is that the model that you want every member in your party to follow?
Not at all. Not the model. His own style of governance is what I mean. I'm taking governance away from politics.
But we are talking politics here. We're talking about your party. He's a member of your party.
He's a member of my party.
He attended the last meeting that your party organized. He's not serving APC.
But he's serving Nigeria, and what he's doing for Nigeria, Nigerians are appreciative of it. Wike is not serving Bola Tinubu. He's not serving APC. He's serving Nigeria based on his capacity, and he has potentials. So that potential is what is unveiling as it stands right now. So, and Nigerians are happy with that potential that is unveiling. It's a blessing to the people of FCT. In the history of FCT, we've never seen this kind of development before. FCT, they are smiling today. When Rufai was there, everybody made them sad because Rufai probably take their land, destroy their properties, and do so many things. The last minister that came into FCT was the worst minister FCT ever had. In fact, they say he returned money to the president.
But we're not talking about FCT governance. What we're talking about now is your party. Yes. Do you feel that he should be disciplined? Or are you with the governors who are insisting, let's put everything aside for the sake of unity?
The governor said, that's my stand. The party needs to be united, which is what we are fighting for. Is it about when you're disciplined? We need more people.
Now,
we're in opposition. We shouldn't be just.
Do you think that will successfully unite the party, given the fact that, as it stands today, the minister of the FCT is singing, on your mandate we shall stand, come 2027?
He has never mentioned 2027 now.
No, but what does on your mandate? What does when that is a song of allegiance?
He's saying on the mandate of what he's doing presently now, on his achievements, on Wike's achievements. Because as far as we are concerned, it's what Wike is doing that I'm saying.
Now, talking about unity,
Because Tinubu doesn't have a standard policy that is beneficial to the country.
talking about unity now, it's very, very difficult to take the word of politicians because you say something today and tomorrow you do another thing. You know that interest drives unity.
Absolutely.
What is the PDP doing to have interest, to have people united
Now,
in terms of interest?
Now, what PDP is doing to have people, we are doing everything possible to bring in all our old people together, the old, the young, and the middle age. We're doing everything to bring all the people together. They agreed member, okay, what is your issue? What is your issue? We table over the open down. How do we take a little of your issue to satisfy you? Take a little of here, and put everything on the same table to make sure everybody's on the same pedestal. You understand? He said, does anyone want to build it? Well, let him sit down for and count the cost. Here a little, there a little, and we achieve a greater result. So we cannot just downplay you. We cannot just look down on you. We cannot just ignore you. You are important. During the election, most young people that we even perceive might not even have any value. So there is, as we call them, what do you want? Okay, you are angry, we didn't carry you, and be sorry. Or you come and join the campaign train. Let's move forward. You know that kind of a thing. Because I'm not interested. I don't even ask
Now,
money, but I just ask to carry me along. You know, that's what the party is doing. Trying to make sure we bring everybody together under the same table, understand your grievances, across the 36 states, across these geopolitical zones. You understand? The key leaders across these geopolitical zones that have left many years ago, that are even in APC. What do you think we can do better? That is the place of a leader that listens.
now that leads me to the conversations regarding 2027 politics.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen some media reports here and there, even though the governor of Oyo State has debunked rumors that he's planning to contest, was saying feelers that Atiku might likely stay, of which many people feel that, okay, it's time to step down because you've contested on there for the party now for how many times and lost. So don't you think that's the interest that people are looking for, even regarding the FCT minister himself? Has your party sorted that 2027 politics permutations?
It's not yet. You see where we are making mistakes as a people. We are still in 2024. We have not even done with good governance 2024. We are talking about 2027. And we are not considering the poverty in the land. We're not considering the pain and the suffering in the land. And this is where PDP is better than every other political party. You see, during PDP era from 1999 down to 2015, before PDP start talking about the next election, PDP have to ensure that, look, every Nigerian is well fed. They have to ensure that all policies have been executed. We have to ensure that there's good governance on the table. Obaseki did not start talking about 2024 election that happened until 6 months, a year to election. He was just interested in governance. That's when, even when we in the first election, when Philip Rebu was still shouting, obviously, look, for God's sake, let's even run this governance successfully. When it's 6 months to, we cannot start talking about the next
But
government.
Senator Andrew, are you aware that it takes more than card-carrying members of a party to win an election?
Absolutely.
You need the electorate to be on board
Absolutely.
with you.
It is-
How do you expect the electorate to come on board with you if your house is not seen united?
With what with the kind of achievement you're going to achieve within a short period, within that 3 years, in terms of bringing unity, people together under one united front, in terms of policies of your governors in at various states, their achievement, people are seeing these things. Look at Peter Obi. Peter Obi pulled out of PDP within 6 months. Look at the stunts that he unveiled. Why? Because Nigeria saw through the mirror. Nigeria saw through the lens. So it didn't take him much time. He garnered the crowd. He gained the weight. That's exactly what PDP does. PDP do everything possible to ensure that we give you good policies, we give you good directive, we ensure that we do something that will give us a testimonial for you to see. So without us even campaigning, you're already seeing what we're doing. You're seeing our policies. That alone prepare you to know this is a place I will follow.
Which brings me back to the FCT minister, because he's so in sync with the present administration of the day. Quite understood because of his job portfolio. But looking at the politics that is ahead, how do people reconcile it together?
You have to understand the fact that if Wike did not have capacity, what is achieving today, he will not achieve it. If Wike did not have potential, if Wike is not full of innovation, if Wike is not full of idea and witty invention, he will not be achieving what he's achieving today. But because Wike is the man that is endowed naturally with the
spirit of achieving greatness. That's what you see is achieving everything that's today. So it's not even about APC, it's not even about serving this administration, it's not even about Tinubu, it's about his personality, potential on the inside of him. That he needed a platform to execute it. Before now, at the backside, I told you, I said, look, people like us are people that are potentially endowed. We're just looking for an opportunity to exploit. If you see the stunt we put in there, you'll be shouting within 6 months. That is who we are. So Wike is an opportunity prepared. Anytime the platform comes, he explodes. That is what you see among all the ministers of Tinubu. Wike is the best. He's the most shining minister. He's the most outstanding minister. He's the best, not because he's not in APC, but he's just who he is. If you see carry Wike today, go and carry him to Labour Party.
What
to
you're
SDP,
trying to tell me,
Wike will still shine there. It's his nature.
and you think PDP should take credit for the fact that he's shining in an APC-led government?
If Wike was not the APC, but an APC would have been totally in shambles. It would have been worse than what it is now. It's even because of what Wike is achieving that people are not even seeing the damages and the destruction of the APC.
So what is the path forward?
They're a little bit more, they are enlightened. So because of the achievement of Wike, they are not even seeing the damages APC is doing to the country. Because Wike is just using this FCT achievement to cover most of their maladministrations. So you have to understand some certain things beyond the face. These are men that have passions, that have potential, that have zeal, that just want to do it. Not for the interest of anybody, but because I want to leave a legacy in the sands of time. That is just who he is. And people have to understand that. So beyond politics, beyond party politics, beyond social politics, issue of good governance should take the rider. If PDP had not produced the caliber of Wike, APC will not pick him to come and help them shine. APC is, people are talking about FCT today, people are talking about APC today to some extent because Wike is there. He's the only minister that is shining.
Okay, let's say our viewers take what you have said. Yeah. Now, how do you reconcile the personality of Atiku and Wike? Because these are big stakeholders in your party. Absolutely. And if the PDP will be successful in 2027, these two people need to work together. Is that possible?
My last interview, I made him, I said, look, you can't dispute the fact that Atiku is not relevant. You can't dispute the fact that Wike is not relevant. You can't dispute the fact that we don't even need Peter Obi. And you can't even dispute the fact that we don't even need Kwankwaso. All these guys, they are products of PDP. Anything you see Obi achieve today is because he got the idea from PDP. Anything you see Kwankwaso achieve today is because he passed through PDP. Just like you passed through school and school passed through you. There is no key political player today that have not passed through the school of PDP or PDP school have not passed through them. We have an institute called People Democratic Institute. Where a lot of policy, PDP is only, in fact, the party is just so full of ideas. PDP have molded people to a level that, look, whatever you want to achieve today in this country as a politician, the idea have been rooted in true PDP. You got it from PDP. So all those are little things that I want people to understand. Atiku in 2027, Wike in 2027, Peter Obi 2027, Wike in 2027, all of them are going to come under one umbrella to sit Tinubu.
Is it going to be the PDP? Would you say PDP has lost its brand name?
It's the biggest umbrella now. It's the biggest umbrella. There's no other brand name now. If it's not PDP, which other brand name are you going to ride on?
So you are hopeful that Kwankwaso will collapse the structure of the NNPP and Peter Obi will...
Kwankwaso have in NNPC is a PDP structure. You only use it NNPC as a platform. Peter Obi did not have structure in Labour. He only used Labour as a platform. Understand that fact. Every member of Labour Party, they are all agreed PDP member that just need another platform to ride on. These are things.
So why did they? Have you sorted out the problems that made them move to look for another platform?
Absolutely, that's the problem. I told you. That's the more reason why the reconciliation committee is doing everything possible. Damago, in its wisdom, set up that reconciliation committee to ensure that all agreed members come together. What is your problem? How do you want us to go about it? Okay, Mr. B, what is your problem? How do you want us to go about it? Okay, Mr. C, just tell us, what is your idea? By the time you give me this one I'm angry. You didn't give me position. Okay, now this is what I want to do. Give me this slot. Okay, no problem. Mr. C, what's your problem? This is Mr. D. By the time we look at all the problems together, what do you think we can do, Mr. A? He will tell us his own, because it's not just about shouting problem. I came from the school of thought. If I am saying there's a problem, I must have a solution at the back of my shoulder. So that in case I am given the privilege, I'll be able to provide solution to that problem I'm complaining about. It's not just to be complaining about good governance. Do you have solution to do good governance? Why are we talking about Wike today? Because Wike was shouting about bad governance of APC. Because he was providing good governance solution when he was a governor of Rivers State. APC thought they wanted to, maybe they thought they wanted to like make mockery of him and bring him as a minister. But unfortunately, he now actually shined because it is not just about preaching, but
You
about
know,
practicalizing
what gets
what you say.
my attention with you is your confidence with Wike and his ability to stay put on the mandate that is the People's
It's
Democratic
even
Party.
shocking to people.
Why
because
are you sure? So this is somebody who has went on record to say that he is not going to, have anything to do with,
APC.
APC,
Absolutely.
and then and this is someone that has said he would not play godfatherism
Absolutely.
politics,
Absolutely.
and we've seen what has played out. Of course, Fubara he is a PDP governor, and we've seen how this crisis in the state has affected, governance in a PDP state.
Now let me give you a clue to that.
So you're so sure that Wike is for the PDP and would not have affiliations with APC?
With the kind of personality brand I have, Andrew Enantomhen, that people know, with the kind of name I have used for myself, I have a strong brand that if I come out to say something, people know my words carry weight. I've looked at it from all angles and all indications. At my stake, I don't take too much take sides because I have to speak truth to power at all times. Who can never give me 1 naira? I hope you see this script. I have his number. I have never even called Wiki. It's as shocking as that to you. I have his number. I've never called him.
So how do you know that he will not do otherwise?
Because his personality, his identity, the brand he has.
But a lot of Nigerians don't agree with that personality.
It is because Nigerians have been biased with the perception. I don't live in perception. I don't live in dreams. I live in reality of what I see. I am a senior stakeholder of the People's Democratic Party. I have traveled around the whole 36 states on 3 different occasions. I have traveled around presidential election on 3 different occasions across the 36 states. I am very close to the National Working Committee. I am very close to the people at the corridor of power of the People's Democratic Party. So when I talk, I just don't talk because I want to talk. I talk fact. I talk reality. This is just the truth. I speak truth and power. When they are wrong, I will tell them they are wrong. But as it stands right now, Wike on his own is doing everything possible to ensure that he brings good governance to the people, because if Wike is not there, the suffering in the land will be much more higher than this. And you'll be shocked that the few policies that Mbadijo might have be executing is even Wike that is giving those few policies.
Now,
and
we're very thankful.
If you look at our president,
we're very thankful for we're very thankful for what the governor is doing. But the conversation tonight is, how does it solve the problems that are in the PDP moving forward, your chances for 2027?
Now, the way to solve the problem that are in PDP moving forward, our chances for 2027, is to make Nigerians to understand that, look, if we have quality people like this, and these are product of PDP, why not give us a second chance? Since you did not even, first of all, even the first chance you gave it to us, because they stole the mandate from us. APC stole the mandate from us. If they bought the election, they bought the mandate. So Nigerians will be aware that, look at our various
despite
states.
The Supreme Court squashing all of your points.
Thing now. We know all those
but you believe the Supreme Court has the final say?
We have to give it to them. We just have to give it to them. Look at all PDP states today. Look at go to Oyo today. Oyo is one of the best states in Nigeria today in terms of infrastructure, in terms of agricultural agripreneur, in terms of innovation. Look at those states that they just stole from us. And those states became a leading light in Nigeria today in terms of development, in terms of innovation, in terms of creativity, in terms of
But there are many that will dispute that, especially when you mention Edo State. I can't say for Oyo because I'm yet to interrogate stakeholders from that state. But the APC chieftains that I've spoken to will tell you that, during the course of this past 8 years, infrastructural projects have not been properly taken care of.
You're talking about infrastructural projects, but you're not talking about industrializing the state that will give employment to the people, that will create a future for the people, that will create an industrial hub for the people, that will synergize other states and make the state a center of attraction to other regions. We're not looking beyond the immediate rhetorics of painting roads and plucking flowers. That is not development. That is not what we put on the table of the people. What will make the people succeed is to ensure that there is security of life and property, is to ensure that there is an industry in every local government that will employ the teeming youth and take away insecurity, take them away from the street, to ensure that there is no insecurity in the state. Look at Jos today. We're just coming from Jos. Look at infrastructure and development. Jos is one of the cleanest cities today. I was even amazed when I got there already. I said, wow, this is going on in Jos. and Your Excellency, you're not doing media hype about it. You're like, what do I need media for? It's about my people. And that's what Obaseki was doing. He wasn't interested in all this media that you paint one road, you go and carry media like what this guy is doing in Abia. And salary you can't pay. I don't say pay the highest sales salary in Nigeria. They started with it. Look at Taraba today. Development everywhere. Look at Bauchi, bridges, infrastructure everywhere. Even rivers. We're going to Akwa Ibom tomorrow. Go and see what is going on in Akwa Ibom today. Akwa Ibom is competing with other African nations. These are PDP states. And
Okay, Senator Andrew, our time.
What PDP can do and what PDP can offer. So
Well,
we're very confident that 2027
we will be watching, and we're praying that it will go
as
as you have said. But I think it's very, very important that as a nation, we have an opposition that is able to challenge the status quo.
Absolutely.
So once again,
and let it be on record that look, that the Damagu-led administration is ready to challenge the ruling party to ensure that it takes PDP back to Asuro. Damagu, Samaya, National Secretary, NOS, and the rest of members of the NWC, they're not sleeping. These guys are doing everything possible to ensure that they fight the battle that Nigerians really want. Nigerians are suffering, and they are looking forward to PDP because it's just their hope.
well, we'll be looking forward to the next
believe that
meeting
this
that
time
the
we
governors
at the
has
NWC,
proposed
they are doing
for
everything possible to ensure that-
February. So
Absolutely.
we'll be looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Once again, thank you so much for being on the program. Senator Andrew has been with us on the show today. That's the much that we can take. Thank you so much. I will take a quick break though, then we'll be right back to finish up the conversation.
What makes the political system what it is today? What are the recurring issues? The tussle for power.
An extremely problematic area.
The tension. The instability of the system. Join Ellen 24/7 as we take you inside the local and international political arena in the world of politics.
Apologize for saying that I was corrupt. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
Watch politics now on Ellen 24/7.
Don't miss Politics Now on LN 24/7.
All right, thank you for staying on LN 24/7. We continue the show this time around to look at Edo politics, probe of Obaseki's government. Now, Edo State's former governor, Godwin Obaseki, took several actions in the twilight of his administration, many of which have raised eyebrows across the state. Now, some of the challenges and some of the things that he did that I'll just give you a breakdown of some of them. Some will say appointing board members for parastatals, ministries and agencies. And critics have argued that the timing of these appointments was designed to create administrative hurdles for the incoming government. Now, because we want to talk about what really is the motivation for this probe that has been kickstarted by the Okpebholo administration. You also look at an issue of the presentation of supplementary budget of 450 billion by the Obaseki administration, allegations that of the 24.6 billion collected by the state as derivation funds, recruitment of teachers and conversion of political aides to civil servants and also SSAs and special advisors to full-time civil servants. And many would also talk about the commissioning of several projects, some of which were reportedly incomplete. But Edo Governor Okpebholo has formed a 14-member committee to investigate assets and liabilities under the Godwin Obaseki's administration. The committee is tasked with reviewing the assets and liabilities handed over by the Obaseki administration with a view to ensuring transparency, probity and accountability in governance. But is that the case? What is driving all of this? We'll get to speak to one of the media aides of Asuwe Ugodolo, who will be talking to us shortly. But the media aide to the immediate past governor, Obaseki, Crusoe Sage, has said that the move by the governor, Okpebholo, to probe Obaseki's government is a smokescreen to mask his incompetence and unpreparedness for office. In a statement, Osage said Okpebholo is devoid of ideas and lacks clear vision to drive development in the state, noting that the governor is resorting to cheap political theatrics and using a circus of meaningless probes to distract from his glaring incompetence and lack of direction. Okay, Chris joins us live from Edo State. Thank you, sir, for being with us on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So there's this narrative out there that your former principal, Governor Obaseki, intentionally kind of, in the words of, what's his name again, a former commissioner for information under Oshomole's administration now, he used the word booby traps for the now incumbent Okpebholo. What are your thoughts on this allegation, so to speak?
All right. What you must know is that the present governor made by INEC is coming with a vendetta, and that vendetta is probably the sole agenda that it has. It is it's against the background of how he became governor. The case is in court, so we don't want to be sub judice. But I hope you know that the Edo State PDP and the people of Edo State who voted are still demanding to know why the result released by INEC in its own IREP is different from the result announced, which itself is also different from the CTC. So there's a huge burden of illegitimacy hanging on him, as foisted on him or fostered on him by Edo people. And that anger is there. Obaseki and the things he did are not secret. The modus operandi of Obaseki from the first day he entered office was to start working for Edo people and introduce the new paradigm of work, which was his own trajectory of. And he didn't see any reason why he should stop working the way many others do, which we citizens condemn and criticize, that if you are a governor, the fact that you have begun an election year doesn't mean that you should stop working. And Obaseki did exactly what citizens had expected, that he will work, so to speak, to the very last day. So everything you have mentioned are all within the normal and regular activities of Obaseki's governance modus operandi. We continually employ according to how vacancies presented themselves, whether into the teaching service or into the civil service. We continually train civil servants, teachers, according to how the need arises. We continually invested in companies, in other infrastructure according to the needs. And there was no reason why Obaseki should stop doing so because we are in an election year. Now, the issue we have with the present government started from the transition period. In September 1st of last year, Edo State went completely paperless. Every government transaction was conducted by, means, electronic means. Commerce that government was involved in was conducted e-government. Government was conducted e-government. Technology took over our day-to-day affairs as far as governance was concerned in Edo State. And true to that technology, everything we did was documented, put in data form. Now, when Obaseki was to leave, he set up a transition committee and wrote a letter to the incoming administration to set up theirs. They did, and set up 24-man member committee. The very first and only meeting the committee attended, the then secretary to government, who was outgoing, briefed the committee using our e-means with which we train, with which we interact. showing them stage by stage the various delineation that we have in the delineated government, all the different things they need to see and know. They were so impressed that day that the chairman of their committee, who is the former deputy governor of Edo State, Honorable Pius Odubu, said they were impressed, that from what they have seen, they were impressed. And so we're all happy at home, thinking that we are going to have the best transition we have ever seen, in the state or elsewhere. We didn't know that they were so intimidated by technology and the sheer immense details, documented details of data on every aspect sector of Obasanjo's governance and investments and everything, that they decided that the only thing to do was to ensure that they never had another meeting. And they never had another meeting.
Now, Chris, as beautiful as some of these things you've mentioned, why wait till after election to do this kind of massive employment? Because many people are going to find faults with it.
Well, the massive employment that they are talking about, did they give you figures and tell you the sector? What they are doing right now is that everybody that was employed during Obasanjo's tenure is who they are referring to as massive employment. The review they are doing right now in the state is the review of everybody that was employed during Obasanjo's tenure. As I told you, employment continually. Ask the civil servants who they have laid off. Many of their employment had been pending before this time you are saying, because they were passing. You see, to get employment to the Nigerian State Civil Service and Teaching Service, you pass through series of interviews. You will recall that Edo State is the only state where, if you are an Edo citizen and you come out with a first class from the university, you have automatic employment into the civil service. So, if you have graduates graduating this year, we automatically bring them in. It will not matter whether we are transiting or whether we are the edge of living government. So the people they met and the people they are complaining about are the people whose employment processes have begun long before the election and then concluded immediately after the election. That was just on one sector, which is the teaching service. Go and look at all the other teachers they are complaining about. They have been in the system for 2 or 3 years, working in the system under training and probation, so that if they fit in, you now make them permanent teachers. So when they are reeling out and giving figures, they should be specific about which sector they are talking about. In the civil service, the people that they are laying off have been there forever with Obasanjo. They say they are consultants. Their permanent secretaries brought into the service from Lagos, this one from Lagos, that from Lagos, and so they laid out all those qualified people that have contributed immensely to our Edo State civil service. Now, are they going to leave those places vacant? Are they not going to fill in those vacancies? The people they laid off, are they not Edo people who have been trained by Edo State government? And many of them were trained, who were experts and consultants outside in their own rights. Now, what you have done is to replace them with your party people, which in character have no idea about how technology works. And that is why the governor has now cancelled every form of e-governance transaction and have returned Edo State back to prehistoric times and saying everybody should go back and begin to push files. They sent those people off just to cover their inadequacies, to cover the fact that the e-governance those people can operate, they cannot cope with it. His aides could not operate the laptops they were given and the e-governance portal they were given. So these are all excuses to lay off professionally trained civil servants, competent trained civil servants, so that they can replace them with those redundant file-pushing, prehistoric people they are bringing in, and who are their party men who have no idea. For instance, he just set up a committee, which he called Vehicle Recovering Committee.
Now, let me ask you quickly, does Obasanjo have anything to be worried about regarding this probe that has been launched? I'm aware that there are 2 of them.
There are 2 committees. I don't know if the one you are referring to, there is one that is supposed to be Vehicle Recovering Committee. And then there's another one, the latest one, which is Assets Evaluation Committee, which he has set up. Now, Obaseki as a person has nothing absolutely to be worried about, except to be worried for Edo State, to be worried that structures and systems of governance, of progress, and of development that have been set and put in place by Obaseki, for the sheer hatred for Obaseki, for the sheer, pleasure of vendetta in the mind of Oshomole and the governor, they are destroying every of those systems. For instance, you say you set up a committee for vehicle recovery. It is on record and known everywhere by anyone who cared to know that Obaseki's aid, from commissioner to special advisors to all other SSAs and so on, nobody has and nobody uses what you refer to as official cards.
But the question is, why were vehicles said to be missing? Over 200 government vehicles.
So that's the question. And it was very funny. What Obaseki ran was a pooling system. We had a pool of vehicles. It was an agency of itself. If you wanted to use government vehicles, you applied. And then the vehicle is given to you on stated conditions. The driver has to return back there when the driver, normal time of closing from work, reaches like 4 p.m. in the evening. And then if you're using it for 2 days, you state all the official reasons why you want to use it. They were all official vehicles. Commissioners didn't have any vehicles attached to themselves. So when you see them dreaming up figures, the person who is engineering them, who is the former Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu, his house in Abuja is like a car shop. And all the vehicles there are government vehicles. He's the one that has government vehicles in his house. So the government vehicles that they are chasing is shadow. They just created that committee for boys because they're going to tie a budget to it and they're going to keep giving them allowances. And the guy sent his personal telephone number to say, please, this is my telephone number if you see any vehicle anywhere. So that tells you they don't even know what they are doing.
How does a former deputy governor cut away vehicles under the watch of the governor?
So that lying and crafting lies is a very good profession of the APC government, which of course Shaibu has now, returned back to from where he came before. It is very easy for Oshomole to come and tell you on television that Aswa Igodalo does not have a house in his village, a house where Oshomole himself has slept and has brought friends to sleep when he needed to bury his wife in that same village. So the fact that they talk doesn't make what they have said any, have any truth in it. You need to verify it. Philip Shaibu donated several numbers of vehicles to the present governor. They were Sienna buses under his office because by virtue of the fact of being the deputy governor, he was in charge of the state's economy. He was also in charge of the state security, network. So, and government bought all of these vehicles to aid our security network at that time and all of that. So they just come out to make those allegations. I'm saying to you that he was the only one that had access to vehicle under Obaseki. All others have to apply to the pool to use the vehicle that were returned. When Obaseki became governor and wanted to recover vehicles, government agency, we didn't bring non-state actors from outside. Government agency in charge, Ministry of Transport, will send you a test describing to you precisely the vehicle. Here, they just tell you figures and numbers, say over 200 vehicles. And they went as far as saying chairs, computer, and all of that. Now, undermining the entire security, network and apparatus we have in government house, which means people were just driving through. When you are coming out of government house, you are asked to stop by the gate. Your boot is searched. So people were just carrying chairs, carrying computer, and then now you meet all the computer working there for e-governance. You close it down and you close down technology in the state. If they had not carted away the computers, what are you closing down? So what they are doing is rabble-rousing, and they are not doing it intelligently enough, which is very painful. Come out with statistics. If vehicles were taken, how did you know that you have 200 vehicles taken and stolen within a few days that you have been in office? You've taken all the inventory of the vehicles. Who did you sit with? You refused to sit with the transition committee that had all the assets of the state and had all the information you need. So within 10 days, how did you now study everything that you refused to do? And in any case, we have it in soft copy. How did you now break in? How did you now study the soft copy you don't know how to operate? So you just sit down and you write figures and you come to the public and say 200 vehicles were carted away. How did you arrive at that? If we set up a transition committee to say, sit down with us, let's show you everything. It's inventory. That's what transition committee is. Take inventory of everything you have, the state they are in, the number that they are, and then you would have been querying on that premise to say, look, you told us that you have 10 vehicles, we have seen only 5, so to speak. But you refuse to sit down because you wanted to create this alibi. So that when you come here and you begin to bring out these figures, you will say, okay, they are right figures. You had the opportunity to sit down with transition committee. You refused to do that because you wanted to create all of this kind of situation. So Obaseki has nothing to worry about. Obaseki has responded. He has told them that the reason why they are doing all of this is because they don't know what to do. They are hiding their incompetencies. So I think they are just busy doing nothing because Edo people know the truth. We all know the truth. We know how frugal Obaseki was. We know how, in fact, Obaseki's greatest problem with those who work with him was that he was too frugal with government property. He was too frugal with government money as against all other governments. So that is not the right place to go. That's not the right song to sing right now. It will not resonate with anybody when you say people stole. Except you are saying that after you took over in these 10 days, you opened the government house and people were coming in and stealing what was there, which you refused to receive in the inventory that would have been handed over to you by the Transition Committee.
Well, we'll be monitoring further developments. Thank you so much, Sir Chris, for being on the show today.
Thank you so much.
And there you have it, folks at home. This is the Much Weekend Take on the show today. Thank you for watching. See you same time right here on LN 24/7. Once again, my name is Morno Balagogo. Many thanks for watching.